So I'm going to introduce Anupam. Anupam, he is, everyone asked me a lot about this financial workshop. Everyone wrote to me, who is this person you trust so blindly? Give us the flyers. Everybody, was messaging me. So I know Anupam from my previous bank that I was banking with. I'm still banking with HDFC Bank, and now he's with Yes Bank. And why am I having this workshop? Because a lot of your problems when you all come to me, sometimes it's health, and a lot of times the financial issues that everyone's battling with. And I've realized in financial issues, it is not a problem of prayer, it was a problem of wisdom. That someone didn't walk in wisdom and they got into a situation because they did not take the counsel and the wisdom of the Lord. Okay. So why am I having this workshop? It's a eye opener. It's just to open your eyes to what's there in the world. Okay. And Anupam blessed me. He helped me multiply my own money. Okay. And he continues to do that still today. And so if someone has blessed me and I have seen something be a blessing, then I want to share it with you. Why keep it only to me? Okay. And so that's the reason why I decided to have this workshop. His details are going to be, I'm going to share it with you on the WhatsApp so you can reach with him. He works with Yes Bank. He's the vice president at Yes Bank for wealth and investment. Wealth and investment. Okay. So he manages everything. So he helps you multiply your say 10,000 into 20,000. Okay. And so this workshop and this PowerPoint that they're going to do is going to just open you up. Okay. And so first half an hour is going to be a PPT, and then after that, we're going to have interactive sessions. So you can ask questions to him. Zoom, we're going to put you on the big screen here. So if you have any questions, just put your hands up. And then Anupam and his other colleague, Hussein, who's on his way here, they're going to answer your questions. Okay. If you want to WhatsApp the questions, you can also WhatsApp them to me. And I'm going to share that with him. Okay. So how many are excited? So remember, we prayed for Anupam and his family members doing well. We prayed for your family member as a church, and he's doing well. He's doing well. Okay. So yeah. So praise God for all of you. When David had shared, remember how the eagle rises up. The Bible says to be seated in. You're seated in the heavenly places. Set your minds on things above. You know when the eagle flies, right? Who bugs the eagle the most? The crow. What does the crow do? Goes and sits on the eagle. But what does the eagle do to get the crow off? He doesn't fight the crow. The eagle just flies higher. So, what do you do when people are coming against you or problems are coming against? You don't fight it. You go higher. You go higher, and what happens after some time? The crow can't fly and the crow falls. So, how do you address your problems? Come back to the place of you know that you're above it, you're seated in the heavenly places, and you fight all things from that position. And you'll realize sometimes you don't even need to fight. The more you're still, that all things fall at your feet. They come under your feet. Okay. Because Christ has already borne the victory for you. Okay. So let's not take more time. We'll get into the workshop. No one go to sleep. If you go to sleep now, then you'll call me up again about your financial mess. And then I'm going to say, I'm not going to take your call. Okay. So be awake now. Absorb in. We'll put this up on YouTube also later on so you can go through it. And if you have any questions coming up right now, write them down if you want and come and tell them to me, or we'll pass the mic around. Okay. So I'll invite Anupam and Hussein, his colleague. They are here. So let them come and take us through. So I might interrupt in few things if it's going a little above, and then if we want to explain. So I've told them to really simplify it, because I never knew what SIP is. I never knew what equity is. I never knew what mutual fund is. I only knew what fixed deposit is, because my mother has taught me only fixed deposit. Okay. So we come from a generation like that, right? And then I realized that there are more things than fixed deposits. And so sometimes people are just so scared of money. And you don't have to be so scared. But with wisdom, with counsel, you can do good planning and it'll actually help you. Okay. So this is why we're having this workshop. So let's welcome Anupam and his colleague Hussein.
check. Hello.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am, for welcoming us to. Yeah. So thank you, ma'am, welcoming us for this entire crowd for us to help you explain what is the basics and how to go about investing. And I'm sure, I mean, some all of you would be investing in some or the other way, maybe through deposits or maybe in post offices or something like that. So we'll basically keep it very simple, like ma'am had told us that. We'll start from the scratch where how to go about investing, what are the options which you can look at, and maybe in case wherever you find anything you are not able to, if we are going too fast or we are not able to understand, please stop us and we'll definitely try and explain it in a simpler manner. So basically we'll start with yeah so basically we'll start with what is investing. So investing is basically like is a how you whatever you are earning, whatever your sources of income are, whether you are doing any business, whether you are salaried or whether you are retired. So basically, how you make your money work the best possible way so that it gives you the best returns, so that your future plans, your present plans, everything gets taken care of. Basically, there are multiple factors to investing which we need to keep in mind, depending on our income, depending on our age, what are the risks we can take, what are the time duration which is required for us to invest, that what is our goal that we want to achieve through this investment. So all these things needs to be taken care of while we invest.
So, the most important part is what we don't see is the time horizon, the risk, and diversification. The most why I'm saying that, because it will be different for all. Just because somebody's told you buy this or buy that, that can be different for yourself and for them as well. So whenever we say, if somebody's giving you an advice or anything, all three parameters are the most important ones. It will be different for each and everyone.
Vasan,
Yeah.
example of
Yeah.
what you
Yeah.
just
So
meant.
just in my if somebody is in their 30s or 40s and in a regular income or a job or a business, they can afford to take a risk. Maybe in a equity, a high risk or something like that. But somebody who's retired or nearing retirement, who requires a fixed source of income or something like that, that will be different. Not, maybe equity, maybe some other investments, but it will be different for them because they don't want to take that risk at that stage of life.
So,
So that is
since if
that
you
will
have
be different.
started your career, say you are in your early 20s or 30s, so that point of time you have that appetite to take risk. That okay, even if I make a loss for the time being, on a longer horizon, I can again get back whatever I have invested. So basically, that is the risk and the return factor and the time horizon comes in. For a person like I am in my 30s, so I can take an outlook of say next 10 years, 20 years, but someone in late 50s or maybe 40s will have a shorter horizon of investment. So that way we need to uh, first look at what we need to do with our money, where we need to invest is a secondary thing. First is what we need to do, that what is my time horizon, what is the risk I can take, whether I can not just in equities, even in debt also. If I am investing in a deposit, my money is growing at a slower pace. So I need to know that I need this sort of corpus to
Corpus.
be ready after X number of years, whether or not this will suffice. Or if I want to go with the riskier instrument, whether I can take that much of risk or not.
So you'll be explaining us what equity is, what
Yeah.
debt is.
Yeah.
So basically, this is just that managing the risk and basically how we have to manage the potential returns which we are expecting, and also basically putting our money to work so that it gives us the desired results with the time horizon which we have.
So can we read that? One second. I just wanted to read that for everybody. So it says the number one is put money to work. Investing involves using your financial resources to acquire assets that have the potential to generate returns over time. So you're putting in something now so that it's going to
Yes.
give returns a little later on. So you're putting your money to work. The second it says is wealth creation. Investing is a key strategy for building long term wealth by growing your money through compound interest and capital appreciation. Can you explain what that means?
So
Compound
for the
interest and
compound interest, now we'll just cover it in the next slide. I'll show you the power of compounding. I mean,
Okay.
very few people understand that, but in a just if it's compounding, if somebody says 12% or something, and if you are looking at a longer horizon,
Yeah.
that compounding plays a very important part. If it says 12%, the actual returns go up to high as 18%. So the compounding, I'll just show it to you. Have you
Basically, it
created
means
that?
adding.
Adding up.
Something gets added.
Yeah, that is a real beneficiary when you are going for a longer term investments.
Okay. And the third, I'll just read that.
Sorry.
It says managing.
Risk.
I'll just go
It's managing risk.
managing risk.
Yeah.
No.
So
Yeah. Effective investing requires balancing potential returns with
Yeah.
the corresponding risks involved in different asset classes.
yeah. So this is basically, we should not put all eggs in one basket. We should be having all some part of the asset classes. Not everything should be in high risk. Not everything should be into a very low risk. A bit of balancing act can be done as per your risk and the time
So
horizon.
you spread it out.
Yes,
You spread.
we spread it out.
Okay.
That's so why we are saying the power of investing, or why invest other than FDs or something like that. Generally, the rate of I'm not here to desell the FDs. I'm a banker, so I cannot desell a FD. But why our inflation, normal inflation, which is quoting at 6.5%, but the actual inflation on ground is more than 10%. Okay, the food inflation and everything is more than 10%. Imagine you're earning 8%, 8.5% on your FDs. On that, you're paying taxes as well. So your net return would be close to 6.5, and your inflation is 10%. So you're not actually beating the inflation. You're making a loss on that. So you need something, which can at least get you to the inflation levels. So that's what we are saying, that we can not all instruments can beat inflation, but at least some can have that parity along with it.
So like 12%.
Yeah,
More.
10%, 11%, 12 is also there. That's also there. But at least if somebody doesn't want to take that risk,
Yeah.
they have an option of a debt mutual fund or something like that, which can earn 9 to 10% as well.
Okay. So
Financial
it says
security.
here beat inflation.
Yeah.
Investing helps your money keep pace with the rising cost of living by generating returns that outpace inflation.
Yeah.
Then it says financial security.
Yeah. So financial security is the same thing which I was saying, that we should not keep all eggs in one basket or something like that. Just for knowledge, even an FD today is only secured for 5 lakhs per pan. Okay. So not all eggs should be there in one basket or something in that. When we are spreading the asset classes, our risk is also lower. Just recently, because there's some global volatility which is going on in the world, the wars and everything. What has happened? The equity market has come down, but gold is going up. Okay, so that is where I was saying about diversifying, that you should have everything in your portfolio, which will be taken care of with the dynamic global conditions.
So let me just read that. The financial security, it says building a diversified investment portfolio can provide financial stability and peace of mind for the future. Then it says achieve goals.
Yeah. So achieve goals is basically what you define, that this money of yours, how do you want to use it after a certain time, or if you're thinking of a corpus, or somebody
So retirement corpus can
retirement
be,
corpus
or
or something
planning
like
for your children's
education, higher education.
marriage, or maybe you want to buy a property or want to buy a car. So everything can be managed through a goal setting.
Okay. So
basically.
we first, so the individual has to see what are the things in their probable future.
Yeah.
They intend to buy a
Correct.
house, they have children, children's education,
Yes.
things like that. So it says here investing allows you to work towards specific financial goals such as buying a home, funding your children's education, or planning for retirement.
Yep.
And then it says importance of investing for compound growth.
Yeah. So that is, I will just show it in the
Yeah.
next slide because that's an
I'll
Excel
just read that.
calculation.
The power of compound interest can significantly grow your wealth over time through prudent long-term investing.
Yep.
Okay.
So if you want just a basic example, just to give you a basic example, if I've invested in a mutual fund,
So
you know,
you'll have to explain first.
yeah,
Mutual fund,
yeah.
equity,
So that's
like,
right. So,
Huh.
types of asset classes in India, the only misconception over here is whenever we talk about investing, people only talk about stocks. Okay, that is not the case. Yeah, in equity, the base is stocks, but it doesn't have to. You have to be directly involved in it. Uh, you know, just imagine how do we build a fish tank? We first take the tank, we build the tank, then put pebbles, water, and last is the fish. So actually, in equity and everything, last is the stocks.
What is equity?
So equity is participation in listed companies. Buying a share is like buying a stake in a company, growing along with a company. So you're not you're taking a bet on the company's growth. So
An
today,
example like
yeah,
Aditya
just
Birla
yeah. So I
is
was just going into
okay.
that. Uh, you know,
So
say a Geo or a Reliance, if you're buying a share of Reliance, you're taking a stake in that company. Obviously, it can be very minuscule or something, but you're growing along with the company. As soon as the company is growing, the profits are growing, the share prices will also grow because there'll be a demand of it. So that's called equity,
So if
where
I'm
you're.
buying like say 10 shares
Hmm,
and for the price of 100 rupees, 10 shares. And then if the those were 100 rupees and after say 1 year, those share prices become say 300 rupees. So it all gets multiplied.
in your
That way.
10 shares. Yeah,
Yeah.
because the
correct.
company is growing where you have invested. So somebody very important like, you know, HCC, Hindustan Construction, who's got the orders for the ceiling and everything. So obviously, if he's getting an order, he's going to execute it. That's going to come back to his profits.
Yeah.
So somebody will want to invest in that.
Okay.
So the equity is buying a stake in a company or growing along with a company. That is basically called as equity. You're buying a stake in a company that can be a listed or an unlisted. Both you can buy. Uh,
So it says
most
here
of them.
stocks and shares of
Hmm.
publicly traded companies providing exposure to the growth
Yes.
and performance of the Indian
Indian economy.
economy. So equity is basically the stock market.
Yes,
Stocks and shares.
equity is basically your stock
Stock
market, and that also that can be defined into different segments. One is a large cap. What does a large cap mean? Is top 100 companies of India. Okay, your Reliances, your Aditya Birlas, and everything. From 100 to 250 is what we called as a mid cap. That will gonna be, the second stage companies, or we can say the growing companies, and the after that is called as a small cap. Uh, that is where after 250 to infinite is your small caps. Small caps are basically those companies which are not that bigger in size or just growing up or some
Startups.
startups. Also, startups can be a thing.
Okay.
Yeah, it can be. So those are after 250 to 5,000. It's those companies. So large caps basically give you a very stable income because their growth and everything is there since 30-40 years. The company has been there. Then comes your mid cap with a bit high risk, and then your small cap with a very high risk.
Okay.
So when I was talking about the risk factor and age factor, that comes into picture. But how your age is and how you want to take the risk, that can be taken care of.
Okay.
Okay. So fixed income is basically, when a company does not want to issue shares or anything, they just want a bond or a loan. So they will give you a coupon, or what I say as a FD, they'll issue an FD to you or a bond to you that I will pay you this much of interest. That's what we called as a fixed income product.
Fixed income would be your fixed deposits.
Fixed deposits, your
Yeah.
corporate bonds, your all the things that company doesn't want to get it into the public, equity markets. They want to raise it directly.
Okay, so it says your fixed income investments that provide a fixed or predictable return, such
Yes.
as bonds, fixed deposits, and government
Yes.
securities. And then there is real estate.
Yes, there is.
Physical property investments, including residential, commercial, land assets, which can generate rental income and capital
Yeah,
appreciation.
and also he's actually missed out on gold. Gold and
Gold.
I think you.
Gold,
Okay.
you can talk about
Yeah,
that.
so gold is also one.
Okay.
Gold. We as Indians are very, passionate, I can say, or we are very. We never see gold as an investment. We all only see gold as a thing that it's for our safety or what we have to pass it to our other generations.
Yes.
But gold is also a very big, important, investment tool which should be there in your portfolio.
When you say
Silver.
buy gold, people would like to know, is this talking about buying jewelry or actually buying gold, like
So
coin or biscuit?
that is up to you. I mean, now government of India earlier had started the sovereign gold bonds, and we also have the gold mutual funds. The difference is, when you are buying gold, you don't know about the purity and the storage cost and everything is there. You have to store it in a locker and everything. But when you buy it via a gold mutual fund, it's just a paper thing. It's liquid. Whenever you want to sell it, you can sell it via your any advisor, and the money comes directly into your account. There's no storage cost, there's no impurity cost or anything. Whereas if you want to buy a from a local jeweler or anything, you can do that as well.
Okay.
uh,
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
In
so
assets, what mutual funds also come in?
yeah.
so mutual funds have all equity,
Equity.
debt, gold, everything. It's there, so it's a vehicle for investing.
Oh, so under
Yeah.
equity is all our mutual
Yeah.
funds.
So
Gold.
under investing is the vehicle from where you can directly invest via mutual funds,
Yeah.
or directly via stocks or anything.
Correct.
uh,
So all of this comes under equity.
all
So
in under
basically,
investment.
mutual fund is a way of investing.
Hmm.
If you want to invest in equity and you don't know which stocks to invest in,
Yeah.
and you can't take risk in one particular stock, mutual fund helps you diversify those risks,
Okay.
and they will basically invest on your behalf. They will have the know. I mean, the fund manager will have the expertise of where to invest, which stocks to invest in,
Okay.
when to invest in a stock, when to exit out of a stock. So all those things he's aware of,
Okay.
because he's into the markets all the time.
Okay.
So that is a tool to invest in
Yeah.
equity.
So it's more safer
Yeah.
rather than somebody going directly in the stock
Yes.
market, equity, and they have no knowledge about it.
Yeah.
But mutual fund would be somebody who's already managing the fund.
Yeah.
Correct.
There are experienced people.
Correct.
Yes.
They have bought those stocks, and so I am going there and investing in that fund, and somebody is managing that fund.
Yes,
Correct.
absolutely.
Okay.
So the last one is cryptocurrencies, though it's not,
Cryptocurrency.
yeah, it's not regulated in India, so I don't think I should be
Okay.
speaking about it, but it's a type of thing which is coming up across the world.
Okay. Can I just read this quickly? So the investment products are equities, which is stocks, ownership in companies, potential for high returns. This is directly you said going into the stock market.
Yeah, directly or via mutual funds, whatever
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can take it.
Okay, then debt instruments, bonds, fixed deposits, low risk, fixed returns. Then mutual funds, pooling of money to invest in diversified assets. Can the mutual fund also be in real estate? How does it
Yeah,
work?
it's not right now in
Yeah.
there, but it can have it. There are other avenues also for real estate rather than buying direct real estate. There is there, but not mutual funds are not available. Other vehicles are available.
Okay. Then there's real estate, physical property investment, potential for appreciation. So this is buying a property that we feel is less right now in the market,
Yeah.
and then it has a potential over the years of
Yeah, so it can have
multiplying.
it will have both the issues, the price appreciation and also the rental income. The rental income is also your income, which
Okay.
is added. So it is a mixture of both. It's not just only the price appreciation.
And then it says commodities means you can invest in gold, silver. What is agricultural products?
So many people also do agricultural commodities. Many people don't know, but it has an exchange where you can trade in agricultural products, soya beans, wheat, sugar, oil. All these are traded. People who know about it, obviously, it's very high risk, and you need a lot of research for that.
Okay. But you can invest in these.
Yes, you can invest in
There
these.
is also a factor which you need to, when you are investing in these, the liquidity factor. Now, I know that real estate will give me a good appreciation and all, but it will not be liquid whenever I want it to be.
Liquid means to make
Liquid
it cash.
And
Yeah.
whenever you want to sell it and encash it.
Yeah.
So, like in a mutual fund or any of the instruments above, you can just sell it whenever next day when the market is open. But in real estate, it's not the case. I mean, there'll be potential sellers or buyers will be coming in, then the lawyers to create an agreement. So it will at least take bare minimum a month to dispose of the asset and get the cash.
Yeah, you mean selling that property?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
So it comes for all. I mean, if we look at the risk factors, so equity would be that it is very highly volatile. So if in case I want to sell and that day the markets are down and the stocks which I have, they are on the negative side, so then I'll not be able to sell. So these are the risk factors which one needs to uh, keep in mind while investing.
And the last it says cryptocurrencies, digital currencies, high risk and
So that is something
volatile.
which is not being I would say regulated. It's not regulated and not done in India.
India. But is cryptocurrency? I think it was in India. I don't know.
No, no, it's not. It's
So
not.
why would they stand
No,
for?
so nothing were regulated, and that
Yeah.
is the reason it got. It's still not regulated.
Okay, but there are people who are buying.
There are people who are
There are
buying it.
brokers.
Yeah, there are people who are buying it, but it's not regulated, and it's if
So you
it
wouldn't
gets.
advise anybody?
No, I would not advise anybody because if it's not regulated, it shouldn't happen. It's your hard-earned money.
Okay.
Government can clamp it down anytime.
Okay.
So why mutual funds? Why mutual funds for a direct equity? So I was just saying it. Like we build a fish tank. We first build a tank and we put the pebbles and everything, and last we put the water fishes in that. So that's how you should also start your mutual fund investment journey other than FDs. That you directly don't buy a stock because you don't have knowledge about it or anything. We buy into mutual funds, get your risk asset allocation that we say in our terms, that how much risk you want to take, time horizon and everything. And from there, when you start investing, what happens is when your own money gets invested, you get a bit into it and start reading. That's a human psyche. And when we start doing that, we start reading some reports, we start seeing CNBCs and everything of the world. And you start, your financial journey. You diversify some into high risk, as I told you earlier, high risk, low risk, and everything. And that's then comes your direct equity. So what mutual fund helps you is in diversification. Obviously it is a professionally managed schemes which are there. A fund manager will be having not less than 5-10 years of experience. uh, I've worked in Aditya Birla where the fund schemes are more than 30 years old. So giving a consistent return of more than 30 years old. So you can see the, consistency over there. Also, there are certain benefits of tax saving. At the end of, at the end of the financial year, there are certain schemes where you can save up to 1,50,000 rupees. It's called ELSS schemes that can be done via mutual funds. And that is the shortest tenure. I mean, for tax saving. One is your PPF, which is more than 10. Your tax saving FDs is 7,
Yeah,
8 years.
5 years.
5 years hard lock in. Over here, the lock in is for 3 years. So, you can actually save the least amount of time over there.
Can you explain that again? So I'll just read this. It says mutual funds in India, professional management. Mutual funds are managed by experienced investment professionals who make decisions on your behalf, right? So, like for example, I'm just asking, Aditya Birla is a fund, mutual fund.
Yeah.
Under that, Aditya Birla goes and invests in certain stocks
Yes.
of
So,
of various
every
companies.
mutual fund will have different funds with different names and all,
Yeah.
like a large cap or a small cap,
Yeah.
mid cap. So now the fund manager will basically invest in say top 100 companies of the large cap.
Yeah.
So now you can go and invest whatever amount you feel like you are comfortable.
Yeah.
It's not that you'll have to invest a lakh of rupee or 10,000 also
It
can be invested.
starts by minimum of 500 rupees.
500
So
rupees.
Yeah.
that can be done. And what happens that you don't need to manage or you don't need to identify which companies to invest in. That is the task of the fund manager.
Okay.
He will deploy your funds in the way he understands the market, and he has more expertise. He has more number of people who are giving him the updates on what is going on in the market, and he's in sometimes even in touch with these firms also where the funds are getting invested. So he knows in and out the balance sheet of the companies, what is going in and around in the company. So the details are there with him. So he has a better viewpoint of which companies to invest in. So that's how it's a easier way for us to invest.
It's
So
a
that
very professionally managed, because what you do is when you invest in any mutual fund schemes, you get a NAV, which is called a in a pool account. So that NAV is declared every day in newspapers, in all electronic media forms. So you can know your value also every day. Uh, the portfolio disclose, I mean, what stocks they've bought is also done once a month. That what stocks they've bought in the portfolio, you can actually know what stocks they've bought and
So it's a
everything.
basket basically.
It's a
Every
basket.
mutual fund is a basket,
Yes.
and they have many companies in that basket.
Yes, many schemes in that
In
basket.
that,
Yeah,
right? And as those companies are performing well, the manager can remove some companies and also
yeah,
add new companies,
yes,
correct?
yes.
Okay, so when I'm giving my money, I'm actually giving it to a basket of companies.
You're giving it
It's
to a
one fund, but it has many
yeah. You're
companies,
giving it
right?
to a mutual fund manager
Yeah.
who will invest on your behalf
Yes.
by using his all his expertise, knowledge, and insights that which company is likely to grow, more, using their financials as a tool. So
Yeah.
the company's balance sheets and everything is thoroughly studied by them.
And there are tax benefits. Our government has given tax benefits for mutual funds.
Yes.
You said.
So as I told you, it's called as ELSS.
Hmm.
You have a under section kaun sa?
ATC.
ATC. Sorry, ATC. There's a section under the old law, old income tax regime, that you can save up to 1,50,000 in tax.
Okay.
Okay, that can be done via PPF, your tax saving FDs, and in mutual funds, it is called as ELSS. Uh, why this is more beneficial? Because across all the other instruments, this has the least lock-in time. All others are 5 years, 7 years plus. This is only 3 years lock-in.
So any mutual fund is a minimum for 3 years.
No,
No,
only the
no,
tax
not
saving.
not
Only
mutual
the
tax
tax
saving.
only
saving.
the tax saving mutual funds, which
Okay.
are ELSS, the tax
Yeah,
saver
so
fund.
when you invest, you cannot redeem it before 3 years.
Okay. I wanted to ask you now, suppose there are salaried people, there are business people also. So, say somebody is making an income of 20,000 rupees a month. So how would you suggest, and if you can give like a little example of somebody out of say 25,000, if they are able to say 5,000 a month or 5,000, they're putting it in a mutual fund over a period of a year, what would that
So-
investment be like as opposed to a fixed deposit? Someone putting the 5,000 in the fixed deposit.
So we have a calculator. We
Okay.
can show you the calculator once.
Can we get a laptop? Is it possible?
Yeah.
There.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Jigar, make it a little big. Yeah.
so this is basically, your goal, that how much you want in how many number of years.
Okay.
So, we did the reverse calculation. What you said,
Yeah.
that you want to invest 5,000. I did the reverse calculation that if
Okay.
you want a 3 lakh corpus or a 2 lakh corpus
At the end of 3 years.
so you can change it. You are expected a returns and everything. So you just change that from 20 to 10, and you'll come to know how much is the amount. Just change it to 10. See, your SIP amount will be increasing over here.
So if you want 3 lakhs
Hmm.
at the end of 3 years, this is
2 years.
2 years.
So I think that's also a very small. Just
Okay.
make that to 5 now. Yeah, just make that to 5. No, the number of years.
5 years.
Yeah. So, if you want a 3 lakh for 5 years, somebody's earning.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can put an SIP of close to 5,000 at 10% also if it grows
So
Yeah.
basically, they're just giving 3,500
8,005.
3,600
a month.
per month.
Per month, and at the end of the third 5
year.
years,
5
they get
years.
3 lakhs.
Yeah.
As opposed to if this was in a
If this
fixed
was an
deposit,
FD, if you can just change, sorry, if you can just change it to 7%, that 10.
if we change that to 7%,
From 10,
in an FD, if you put this money,
you will, you will actually get
So you can just change the to the first page
the first page.
or the
SIP.
first sheet.
yeah.
So we can basically calculate this way also.
Yeah, I think let's do this. If so, I want to encourage everybody to start putting money in investing
If you
money.
just change the first one, monthly investment to
So let's
5,000,
do say 5,000. Start with 5,000.
and put a 10-year gap, that is fine.
Can we put a smaller gap? Not 10 years. Say, give me 5 years.
5 years, okay, fine.
5 years, 5,000 a month.
Yeah, that's fine.
How much is it going to come in a mutual fund?
So this is basically the value of your investment will be, you know, 3 lakh rupees that you will be investing in, and your value will be close to 4 lakh.
4 lakhs in
That
5
is
years.
with the
5
expected return of 11%.
11%. But how much do mutuals really?
So
Most
if
of
I
them.
have to check the past 20 years history, it is more than 14 to 15%. I'm just considering a 11% return.
Yeah.
Okay. If I change it to 14, that amount,
Jigar, can you change it to 14? Because some mutual funds I know give you 23%.
yeah, it can be. It's
Yes.
one more than higher than that. I'm
Yeah.
just considering the base.
The
over here.
lowest.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
14.
if I take that 11 to 14, 3 lakh
Yeah.
is the same. That 4 lakh becomes 4 lakh 26,000.
4 lakhs 26,000 at
And
the
that's
end of 5
compounding.
years.
Yeah.
And that keeps compounding, right?
So if I do that for 10 years, that
Yeah.
will have a more, compounding effect. So if I just change from 5 years to 10 years, 5 to 10, just check.
That
check
is
the
12.
value. It is actually doubling.
It's doubling up.
Okay. This is the power of compounding, which I was talking about.
Okay.
The longer that horizon, it will compound at a much faster rate.
Okay.
If you just change that from 10 to 15,
It becomes 30, almost 20.
9 lakh becomes 28 lakhs.
Yeah.
It's
Your 9
actually
lakh
not
has become
doubling, it's tripling.
tripling up. Yeah.
So that is the power of compounding.
Yeah. And this is, we've still taken a
14%.
little less. Yeah. 14. Because mutual funds go from, it really depends on.
So last 30 years, bare minimum is 16 and a half, bare
Yes.
minimum. And if I have to go for a higher, riskier one, those have given 22, 23%.
Yeah.
I just want to take it as a base. So at the same level, if you do something like an FD,
Now
and-
put an FD. I want to see how much the FD.
so if you see 9 lakhs will be the same. So if
Yeah.
you change that to 7, so this is 28 lakhs and
This is
15 lakhs.
15.
It's actually half.
Yeah.
And this is also your taxation and everything, post tax will be higher, lesser.
Yeah.
Than that. And so the compounding actually takes very effective for a longer horizon. Anything more than 5 years, your compounding starts.
Yeah.
So if somebody who's just started earning or anything, SIP is the best vehicle of mutual funds.
So SIP is monthly.
Monthly, weekly, daily, everything
do it.
options are also available.
Is there a way, suppose somebody now is joined a company, they're earning 25,000 rupees a month or 30,000, they're saving up 5, say they get fired. And like now they're not able to pay for 3 months. So what
That's it.
happens?
So what happens is if they are not able to pay for 3 months, the SIP stops, but your investment remains.
The investment remains.
Investment remains, right?
Okay.
So that's it. You can restart it again whenever he gets a new
So we
job.
don't lose anything.
You don't
They can
lose
just
anything.
continue
Yeah.
again.
It's
uh,
nothing. You don't sign a contract that you'll have to pay selling anything that you have to do. It's
Okay.
just that whenever you get the money, you can pay.
And is the SIP a lock-in?
Only for the ELSS, which I told you, the tax saving one.
Okay,
That's
that's
it.
for 3 years.
Yeah.
Otherwise, someone can just do it for a year.
Yeah,
Someone can
okay.
do it.
For a year, I would not suggest an SIP. If you want to do an SIP, it's basically for 3 years or 5 years because the compounding takes place
Yeah.
that time.
And suppose we stop after 3 years, it'll still keep multiplying.
Yeah, it's still the value of the NAV will still keep on going up.
Okay.
You can stop it anytime within 6 months. Also, you can stop it, or 1 year. Also, you can stop it.
What is the full form of SIP?
Systematic investment plan. So what does that-
Systematic
yeah,
investment
so
planning.
it's like you decide a date of your, in a month or a week, and that will debit your bank account and it will get you an NAV. That
So
is
we
good.
can start as simple as even 500 rupees.
Yes.
Someone
yes,
can put
yes,
in.
Yes.
Okay. And that just keeps multiplying
Yes.
for them. Okay.
Yeah.
Can we get one more mic? Only 3 mics. So I'll give you mic.
So one has to invest for a minimum of say 3 years onwards, etc. But in those years, 3 to 10 years, supposing there's a change in the direction of the company's profit or whatever.
So yeah.
So then what happens?
So that's fine. So that is why we are saying mutual funds, because if there's a change in the company's profit or an outlook, the fund manager takes that call of exiting from that company. You're not doing it; the fund manager is doing on your behalf. So he's actively chasing the companies. Because I was a part of Birla, I know it. They have a mandate of meeting the promoters once a quarter, 3 months, visiting the plants. They go as deep as that they go and visit the plants, check their order books and everything. So if they want to, remove a company from the list and everything, it's a fund manager's call. You don't have to worry about it. What you have to worry is, as per your needs, is the fund growing? If the market is giving a return of maybe 12% or 13%, your fund should not be giving you a 5 or 6% return. Then it's an issue. So that's why we, as advisors, also monitor all these mutual funds, and we keep on meeting these fund managers that what are you doing, why are you investing in that company and everything. So after the fund managers, we are as an advisor advisors which mutual fund to buy in.
So probably in a mutual fund, there are 70 odd companies that a fund has invested in. So out of that, if one or the two funds stocks probably are not performing, the fund manager takes his call that okay, we'll wait and see for 6 months, 3 months. If the performances starts good, then he'll probably keep it. If he sees that okay, there's no improvement again after 3 months or 6 months, he'll remove sell that stocks and maybe enter some other company stocks. So he has a bucket list of 60, 70 odd stocks which he maintains in the particular fund.
So from what I'm understanding is equity, the is direct stock market where you're going in and it's a little riskier because now you have to study the stocks for yourself. But say you and me who are very busy in their own little professions, we don't know. So where would my money be safer? In a mutual fund. So mutual fund are basically stocks. But somebody like him is going and buying some stocks from various companies, and his job 24/7 is to just look after that fund. So somebody is managing it for you, looking. So they are actually looking which companies are going up, which companies are going down, and they might even remove some companies and add some companies, correct? So it's a safer way to do things. But it's so much better than a fixed deposit. And what I want you to show that you can all become rich just by the little investments that you started doing, whether it's even 5,000 or 1,000 rupees. But the what are we trying to encourage you? Start saving up, because there's always going to be expense, but you can always save some money. Okay. And so start putting it in small things like this.
It's not included the policies, the LIC, and also where do they fall?
Only for an ELSS.
It becomes tax free,
Yeah.
right? So
It's only till 1,50,000, not more than that in a year.
that's tax free component. And even the returns
Mm.
after 3 years, if I withdraw, it's non taxable.
Till 1,50,000 it is.
Till 1,50,000, it's non taxable.
Yeah.
Any amount over and above 1,50,000
Yeah, that will be taxable. That will have a equity taxation. Uh, I can tell it to you later because it will be over that.
Hi,
Hi.
this is Asha here. You
Yeah.
know, you've not included the policies. So generally, we've done a lot of investment in the LIC policies and all this. So where do they fall? I mean, and what's
So
the plan for
LIC
them?
LIC policy would come under your fixed incomes because it tells you that you get a return, fixed dedicated return at the end of the tenure. So it comes under a fixed income return. It doesn't come under equity, though there are schemes in LIC which have started investing in equity, but they don't guarantee a return, a
Okay.
fixed return. LIC,
So, like,
yeah,
I'll
it
give you an
is called as
example. So
ULIPs.
there is something known as something pension. So if you start very early as 30 years of age,
Hmm.
and then you keep paying. So like if you're paying a lakh, yeah, almost 1,50,000 in a year. So they say after when the 60, so is that beneficial or not beneficial?
So obviously it comes under your asset allocation, that
Okay.
it comes under fixed income that you're paying right now,
Huh.
and at the end of a tenure, you're assured that
I
this
will get
money
it.
is gonna come in, come what may. So that comes under your fixed income returns. So as mutual fund is a vehicle, another vehicle is your policies. I don't not LICs, but many other are there like Max Life, HDFC, ICICI. There are many other insurance companies. not just pension. People take it for their, children education or a marriage, because that is a one which is very close to everybody's heart. You don't want to take a risk in that. You know, during COVID, what happened? Markets went down, everything went down. But somebody who had a education or a marriage during that time, they required a fixed amount, right? So, as I told you earlier, not everything should be in one basket. It should be diversified.
Just sorry,
Yeah.
one thing. If I had to ask you that, which would be preferential, the LIC or the mutual? Would you suggest?
It all depends on the first three things which I told you: your risk, your horizon, and what are you looking at, the goals.
Okay.
So, if you're looking at something like a pension or something, you can diversify it in both the ways. So, you need something in a fixed also, and something which can beat inflation at a time when you are, earning, going into that
But
retirement.
the
age.
return on LIC is lesser than the return on
Obviously,
mutual funds,
obviously,
right? What is the
obviously.
percent of interest on LIC?
So LIC would not be higher than 7, if I'm
Exactly.
not be
Yeah.
higher than 7.
Yeah.
And equity is around 13 to 14%.
Yeah. And that's on the minimum side.
Yeah.
I know I have funds that have yielded 23, 33%
Yes,
increase
yes.
also. So it really depends on what mutual funds you're putting in.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So LIC is the only why people buy it, for the safety and for the insurance cover. So it gives a benefit of both. That is the only thing people buy it for. Would not suggest like an investment tool for a bigger amount in that.
I want to ask you one thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody has question. Okay, can we have one more? If you can take this mic, so then I can pass that mic. Yeah. 1 second, Gigi Maushi, take the mic.
Hello. Yeah. They already, GST and all is a part of the NAV. So you are not paying anything extra, to these funds or anything. So whenever you buy, suppose a mutual fund, you are allotted an NAV. That NAV is inclusive of all the taxes and everything. Only and only when you sell it and you make a profit, it comes under taxation part. If it is sold before 1 year, it comes as a short-term taxation. If it is sold after 1 year, it comes under long-term taxation. So you
Our
know-
tax is 33%, right?
No, for equity, the short-term taxation is 20% and long-term is 12.5%. So after 1 year is 12.5. On the fixed income, it is 33, like you said. So the FDs that you will earn you will have to pay 33% tax.
So it's
But-
better than for them to
Yeah.
invest in mutual.
Yes, and when you invest in mutual funds, in equity mutual funds, you'll have only pay 12.5% tax
Even after 3 years.
after 1 year.
After 1 year.
Yeah.
And after 3 years?
Same,
Same.
same.
So it's not
Anything
33%.
more than 1 year, if you're holding, and post that, it's going to be 12.5.
12.5. So the taxing is lesser.
Yes, and also you don't have to calculate that any mutual fund taxation. You can just ask for a, what we say, a capital gain report, and you can just give it to your CA rather than you calculating how much you have to pay.
Also, another thing, like I know as investment people, but all the advice I've ever got for investment was for retirement. And I'm not really looking at retirement. I want my money to enjoy it right now. Okay. And so one of the things I was even telling Anupam was multiply it. And I think all of you should start doing that, because in a couple of years it starts increasing. And can people, after like say 3 years, remove a little bit of interest, little of that, and it still keeps on compounding
Yes.
the rest of it?
Yes.
So we don't have to take the whole chunk out. It doesn't stop. We can utilize some of it and then it keeps on multiplying.
Correct.
Okay. Any questions? Okay. So
The 33% you're talking about is on the income that you make. Yeah. So that's the income tax. So
Hello. Okay, never mind. I was just asking that how can we check, like how can we disclose your
1 second.
Yeah.
Everyone can hear.
Yeah. So for example, if you are handling my portfolio and obviously it's the first time we'll be doing it, so we want to keep a track on regular basis of, so we can't obviously ping you what is happening. So is there some way that we can look at it? Like, is there an app or something like that, that on daily basis we can know, okay, this is how it's going. So is there something?
Every means are available. You have an app for every mutual fund or a advisor also will have an app of his own.
Okay.
Okay, but I would suggest you not to check it, because whenever we keep on checking it, we have that urge either to remove the profits or everything. So would not advise you to, but it's all it's published daily in newspapers, internet. You can go on the website. There's an app for every mutual fund distributor also, and the advisor also.
Okay.
So you can check it every day value. It gets updated by 6:30 in the evening.
Acha.
Okay, every day you can, yeah, even you can check every day your portfolio value. So
Okay.
I want to ask, like how people are doing monthly, there's also a way of doing something yearly, right? Lump sum.
lump sum is whenever you have a money, you can just invest it. There's no fixed time. Whenever you have a money, suppose if you got a bonus or anything, you call up your advisor. Here, I am thinking of this much money I've got, and I am thinking of a goal, or I just want to invest it for my children or something like that. And as per that needs and the risk, the advisor can suggest you. That again doesn't have any lock-in or anything. It just has a taxation impact, as I told you.
Anupam, can you explain the 5-year things and the what we did just for a year investment, and then the long term? What were they?
Huh? So ULIPs, like I said, is the LIC part. It's not a LIC, but they are investing in equity. Okay, so you pay for 5 years, not at one go, but you're paying for 5 years. You can pay for 10 years also. It's a part of a vehicle that is there, other than mutual funds. It's called insurance linked policies. So in that you pay for minimum 5 years. You can pay for 10 years, 15 years also.
And what is the amount someone can pay?
So it starts with a minimum of 50,000 rupees
A year.
a year.
A year.
And then they invest in equity markets. The fund managers invest in equity markets, and you can withdraw it after 6 years or 7 years or anything.
What is the interest, approximate interest?
So
on
it
ULIPs?
gives you a return approximately like the 1 or 2% lesser than the equity mutual funds.
Okay.
So you can expect anything between 12 to 13%. I'm being very
Okay.
conservative right now.
Okay. So say someone invested 50,000 a
Yeah.
year. Minimum would be 5 years.
Yeah.
So what would be at the 6th year? What would they yield?
So it would be close to 2.5 lakh, would be close to 3.5. See, the point I was trying to make is, if you are looking at just it's investing every year, not one go. So the last is just completed 1 year. And another very important part in ULIP is you also get an insurance cover. For 50,000, you get an insurance cover of 5 lakh,
Lakhs.
which is also beneficial for your family.
So no, can you give me an example? So over 5 years, we invested 3,50,000, right?
Yes.
Correct. So at the end of 6,
2.50 lakh.
2,50,000. So it would become at the end of
Um,
5 years.
say
See, on a conservative note, it would be somewhere around 3.5.
3.5.
Okay.
3.5.
And on a higher, like
It can go double up also, ma'am.
Be more than double
yeah.
also, because the way last few years equity has performed, it has given substantial returns. Like a lot of my clients have seen the returns almost more than doubled.
So,
So they
wha-
took maturity like recently also, some of them.
so again, ma'am, you are just taking part in the equity market, and in a ULIP, you get an advantage of an insurance cover
Hmm.
along with it, which you don't get in a equity mutual fund. Yeah, but your horizon has to be longer. In a mutual fund, you can redeem it after 1 year, 2 years also. Over here, bare minimum 5 years you have to keep.
so mutual fund is somewhere where if I put 50,000 bucks, I can remove it also within a year, whenever I
Within
want.
next 2 months or 3 months.
Months, 3 months.
Correct.
There is no fixed lock-in. Whereas a ULIP is something that I'm putting something
For
for
5 years
minimum.
minimum.
But it multiplies for me, and on the 6th year I can
You
withdraw,
can, or you can continue it also for 10 years.
and it
15.
again keeps compounding.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ma'am, can you maintain that property, and where are you buying it? That is more important. Something like in Mumbai, if I have to check the value, I stay in Andheri, so a 1 BHK over there is a 1 crore 50, 1 crore 50. So if I have to buy a new property at 1 crore 50, and the rental yield over there is 35,000. Okay, so if I put that money straight in an FD also, I would fetch more. Because there are cities other than Mumbai. tier 3, tier 4, which are giving higher returns. In Mumbai, the returns are close to 5-6% in fast 5-10 years. And plus the lock-in is there, and other issues of real estate. So I would not buy a real estate in Bombay, but maybe outside India or something. But if you're doing it, you have to travel, because real estate has its challenges on that.
I personally feel in Bombay, and I've observed the market over the 5 years, the real estate spike isn't that much. If you're really looking at investing, places outside Bombay, like Goa or other places where it's really low, and then they might have a big escalation. One of the other things that you have to see is the paperwork in especially Bombay.
No, everywhere the paperwork, and if you're giving it on rent, how the tenant is your property being damaged? Is he paying rent on time? And while removing him or changing the tenant, is he creating a ruckus and all?
Yeah.
So real estate has a big issues, and plus it's your hard-earned money. You have to go there at least once in 6 months to check your own property.
Also, anybody, whoever is doing in real estate, and if you're giving your place on rent, no friendship in rent. You have to go to the government. You have, your local court, the court, and get everything registered, get it stamped, notarized, whatever that is. Every year, keep doing it. You don't get emotional attachments in when you're doing business and things like that, because I've heard many stories of people not moving out, and that's because of somebody got emotionally connected with that. And so, paperwork and things like that, you just go to the family. I think it's a family court, any lawyer, and you go and do the proper registration. So at least you have valid that someone is staying. But personally speaking, in Bombay, I would say hold on to investing in real estate. I think the better yield is mutual funds. And if you want to multiply that money, I think it's good. Also, a lot of infrastructure is happening right now all across in our country. And so a lot of companies which are into infrastructure, because we're building roads, we're building bridges, that is on the horizon. So those would be good mutual funds, correct?
Correct.
That have those to invest in, because we are developing at a high speed. Okay, so those would be the ones that you want to go and put your money in.
So we just discussed about insurance right now. So what are the different types of insurances? One is a plain vanilla term plan, where you pay for your cover. If something happens to you, your family gets the money. And then there is your ULIPs, which I told you that they invest in equity, but they also have a insurance cover along with it, and bare minimum is 5 years in that. Then there is a annuity plan or a pension, which you were asking, or a money back policy is actually the same. So what does a money back mean? That you pay for a certain amount for 10 years maybe, and on the 15th or a 16th year you get a lump sum amount again. Okay, but the yields again are not favorable. People basically do that for the expense which they know is gonna come at that part, maybe a children's marriage or a higher education. So people don't want to take a risk in that, and that's why people take that policy, because an FD can be done only for 10 years. So this can be for 15 to 20 years. So you are actually getting the interest right, locked in right now.
What if people have already existing FDs right now? Say there's some people who have like say 3 lakhs in FDs. How would you suggest them to park just 1 lakh in FDs and start putting 2 lakhs in mutual funds?
Yeah. So depending on their horizon and what are they looking at, it can go from 1 lakh to even the whole 3 lakhs can be shifted, because if that money is put into proper use, you just saw it on the Excel calculator, how it can, grow. And also, we are not doing a direct equity where the risk is very high. We are doing it via mutual funds, which have invested in 70 odd companies. So your risk portion is a bit low.
Yeah. You're understanding, everybody? Yeah. So it's not one company. Mutual funds has many companies under it. So your risk factor is spread out. So while one is not doing, but the rest 100 are probably doing better. Okay. So suppose you have like FDs lying at home. So instead of putting all the money in FD and just letting it be at say maximum like 7, or Yes Bank gives 8%. 8%.
8.2 for senior citizens.
8.24. Okay. For senior citizens. But you can distribute that money. You can remove some. You put it in mutual funds. So at least it's yielding you 14, 15, 16 percent. And then you're getting more return on it.
So one more thing I just wanted to tell you, Just check the returns 5 years back, what FDs was giving. It was close to 10, 10 and a half. India is a growing economy. As we grow, your FD rates and everything will come down because, as we are growing, things will come down. I remember my father used to do at 12% also. Now, if he's getting close to 7.5, 8%, so it's already reduced. If you are looking at that part, and when your next renewal come, you might not get 8.5%. Okay, so um, that is also a very important factor.
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Real estate we have already discussed
Yeah.
basically.
Okay, any Q&A now you want to ask questions? Also, what is debt fund?
Yeah, so debt, as I told you, is again a mutual fund where fund managers don't invest in the companies. They take the bonds or the loan. Companies take loans from the mutual funds, so they are giving a fixed assured return. Like if you have seen, they might have taken Shriram or Birla might have taken loans from them, and they have been given fixed coupons. So a debt mutual fund will give you type of a fixed return over a period of long term.
Is it but similar? How much is the return?
So returns are from 10 to 12%.
Okay,
Yeah,
they're still better than
The
fixed
FDs,
deposits.
the FDs. And what happens in an FD, it's a single issuer. Over here, again, the mutual fund guy is investing in 30, 40 company bonds. So your risk is also, if something happens, there are 30 other companies over there.
So people invest in debt funds who are scared of the stock market. So say like COVID happens, debt funds are the most secure, correct? Because they're not putting monies in the companies, but they're putting monies in the
So
bonds.
yeah, so
Basically, a
bonds,
mutual-
government bonds
a
also.
mutual fund will say, for example, XYZ company is there. Mutual fund will say, the XYZ company would be like borrowing funds from outside would be more costlier. So they will say, mutual fund companies, okay, I'll pay you X amount of rate of interest, and you give me a loan of say 10,000 crores. So that is how the deal works. So rather than going outside the company from a bank, they or maybe from a NBFC, when they borrow, they are going to pay a higher rate of interest. Rather than that, they will approach a mutual fund company and give a lesser rate of interest, and they will borrow funds from mutual fund company. Still that rate of interest would be a higher for a normal individual like us, because that would be more than an FD what I'm investing in.
Yeah.
So that's how the debt fund basically works.
Okay. Any questions somebody wanted? Dilkash? No? Yeah. Press for Asha.
I just wanted your advice. Like, you said that mutual fund is they are going and investing in shares for us. Now, if somebody already has an existing portfolio of shares, now that's dormant. I don't even look at it. It's just lying there. So I don't know. Sometimes the dividend comes. Would you advise me, the person to like me to offload all the shares, just dump all the money?
So that's where the advisor comes into play.
Acha.
Because he's also involved every day in everything. So which shares are doing good, which shares are not there. And
Yeah.
obviously, if you're not tracking those shares, it's a problem. If it's dormant, it's a very big problem.
Okay.
Because you need to track those. You don't know what will happen after 5 years or what's the outlook of the company. Nobody knew Zomato 10 years back or 5 years back. So that's how it is.
I want to know, like, people who come, how do we trust the people? Like, say, y'all are from the banks, wealth managers or investment people from the banks. But there are a lot of companies outside that are just wealth investment companies. And so, how does somebody trust their money with? Is it better to go through a bank or through a investment company?
So, see, everybody has their personal choices. I believe somebody which is near to my eye, which I can see. There are many online companies or apps which provide these services. That can be from different people and everything. Uh, what you are doing is basically you are investing in a mutual fund, and you can take those you get those statements every time. You can download it every day. So that's not a big issue, I believe, but it's their own preference. My preference is I need somewhere which should be near to me.
Yeah.
Or can be easily accessible. Like she said, he can be reached out anytime in the whole day. So that's where, my preference is.
So I was asking, like, there are private companies that do investments, and then there are banks who also do investments. So I'm saying which is
So
safer.
both are the same. Both are same. For banks and private companies, both are the same. Banks. Why do we prefer banks? Is because we get every bouquet over there. Private companies have a bit of restrictions. Bank don't have that. I am okay if you want to do an FD also. I can offer you that FD, and I can offer you everything which a private company won't be able to offer you. Plus, being a bank, I'm not biased towards a certain product or a company only. I have many other companies and products, so I will not be biased towards a product. I'll be biased towards my customer. That will be my biggest advantage.
Okay. Any questions? Yeah, Madhuri. So no question is silly. Okay. So if you have any questions to ask, just ask.
Sorry. So per se, if we want to get in touch or something like that, so how does your fee work? So even obviously it's
So
not gonna
we
happen.
don't charge anything. As I
Yeah.
told you, no charges are there. It's all in the NAV that you are doing it.
Okay.
Okay, we don't charge you any extra for that. It's a part which is taken
Okay.
care of.
Okay. Okay. So whatever you plan
Not-
as
yeah.
in, okay. Okay. Fine.
So also, whenever you take a ULIP or something, it's already mentioned. Every cost and charges are mentioned. So it's very transparent. If whenever you are investing in a mutual fund, they tell you what the expense ratio is, expense ratios and everything. So it's not, you don't have to pay anything extra, ma'am. It is all part of the NAV.
Is there a way of people, suppose they are in debt, they've taken loans, is there a way of investing in a mutual fund at the side that it has the ability to clear off the loan?
So a very important what people do is, whenever you buy a house, you know, you buy it as an EMI.
Yes.
Many people can't afford a house without a loan.
Yeah.
So what they do is, how much is the EMI? They suppose the EMI is 50,000 rupees. They do an SIP of 20,000, 25,000 rupees, and you saw the power of compounding.
Yeah.
After 15, 20 years, they are actually reducing the home loan amount in 10 to 15 years. That's how people do.
Okay.
Uh,
So you're saying that somebody who's no, I wanted to ask if someone has taken a loan and we encourage them also to put something in SIPs
yes.
so that it has the ability
Yes.
to
Yes. Pay off the
pay
loan
off the loan
So
faster.
just
Yeah.
as I gave you an example, 25,000 if you do it on the SIP calculator,
Yeah.
and the 50,000 EMI, and every year, obviously, if he's working, there'll be some increase in his payout as well.
Yeah.
Right. So 25,000, and if I do it for 15 years, his loan will be finished.
Wow. So all the people who've taken loans, and if you're clearing off just your loans, but also do invest in SIPs, so it'll help you clear off the loan faster. Okay. Any other questions? Zoom. Okay. Can you have all the Zoom people on here? And just put a hi-fi so that then we'll take your questions. So Anupam and Hussein are part of Yes Bank. If you want them, of course, they're going to tell you open an account with Yes Bank. So you can do that. Some already might have. But my encouragement is every bank has wealth investment people. So you can go up to them and ask them, okay, for investments. I trust them. I'm with Yes, so I call them here. But you're most welcome to even sign up with them. Okay.
And as she said, no questions are silly to an advisor or anything. I mean, we get more basic questions than this, and we are very happy to help as an advisor, because we understand that there is an anxiety in people. In India, still the people which are investing via mutual funds is hardly 7 to 8%. So many people are doing their investments for the first time.
Yeah.
So
People
we
are scared.
understand that. We understand that. And we take, we try to solve all your queries on that part. Because traditionally we were always LIC, we were always FDs or post office. And to shift, it takes time.
Yeah. So I did this. I told you I was always advised FD. And then I started thinking for myself. Okay. And one of the things I even told, I remember Anupam or his team advised me debt. And I was like, no, I don't want these debt asset funds because they are too long term. I said, I don't mind taking the risk, and I could take the risk. So I chose not to. So everybody, it really depends. And I told him, I gave him my horizon. I said, after this time, I don't want to do anything. I want to live off the returns that I'm doing. So in the middle, I wanted to buy a house. I told you I stopped because I saw in our real estate market, it was not going very high, and it would be a dead investment. And knowing the current status, even with the rent, it wouldn't be as high as I would take that money and put it in a mutual and probably just multiply double in maybe 2-3 years also, because some of the investments are yielding me 35% or 30
Correct.
33%. So it's almost double, okay, of what I put in. And so I realized it was better than buying a house. So will I buy a house in the future when I get married? I'll make the husband buy the house. Okay, but I'll keep multiplying my money. I'm just kidding. But I'm just saying that new ways of looking at things, because in our country, it's only roti, kapda, makan. So the first thing you want is go buy a house, but your whole life is gone in paying a house, and you can't even enjoy it. And rather, why not invest it in mutual funds, and you can enjoy your coffee and go to a restaurant and enjoy, rather than at 60 or not in beloved, but they're old and they can't enjoy the money. Okay, so I'm just saying things that were done before are not relevant to a lot of things that are happening today. Careers are changing, people are more independent. So our parents did it, it's fine, but you and I can trust, and we can have different ways of multiplying money. So I want to encourage, how many entrepreneurs are here in Beloved? Everyone is working? All working? Yeah, everybody has. Start investing the money in mutual funds. You can do ULIPs. Some put in ULIPs, means some for, I think, minimum 5 years, you said, no?
Yes.
5 years. Some put in mutual, that is just for a year. So you get a bonus. Put it in. How about if you got, say, 30,000 bonus, you lock it in for 1 year, next year, maybe it multiplies and doubles up, and then you go splash it. So I'm just saying, start looking at money as investing right now. And there's all, if you decide you want to invest, there will be money saved up. Okay, because you're only going to be in a better place in a year or two. Okay, so that's my encouragement to everybody. Some Zoom people have some questions, so let's quickly take that. Aarti has. Can we have a mic to Aarti? Zoom, just put your hands up like this. Huh? They can unmute. I wanted to ask, all the advice that you've given right now is for India. All of these things. What if that there are a lot of international people on our Zoom?
So for international, there's a separate vehicles which are available, which can invest in India. And for those, I mean, we have to take it offline with them.
Okay.
There are separate vehicles which are there, like mutual funds, but there are mutual funds which are outside India, which invest in India.
Okay. Mutual funds which are outside of India, but that invest in.
Yes. Why
India.
I'm saying India? Because it is one of the best growing countries, best emerging markets in the whole world.
Yeah.
People are running away from China because they don't know what will happen in China. Brazil is in a mess. Russia is in a mess. So there's US elections which are there next month. So India is at a very sweet spot because of multiple things. We have a very young base, young talented base. Our demographics are such. Also, as when I just told you, our savings rate is 26%, which is highest in the world. For every 100 rupees that we earn, we are saving 26 rupees, which is the highest in the world. So our money power is there uh, because of our ancestors, and that all makes India a great investment destination. Uh, World is looking up to India, and that's why I also say that if they are catching on the India growth story, we as Indians should not miss that bus.
On that, yeah, I do feel it's especially in infrastructure, it is going higher.
Yeah.
So it would be good to invest. Yeah.
We can do that as well. We do that. It depends which markets are you investing. Uh, if you can change, that will all depend. I can have a one-on-one talk with you later.
So we can invest in, like I was asking you, Anupam, if I wanted to invest outside in US companies, say
Yes.
Oracle, or say some other US companies that are coming up, Tesla.
So now you can. Earlier it was not possible due to the financialization and the you know uh, good ITs and everything. It is now possible. So that can be taken care of as well.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, why go for outside India when India is the best performing market?
Yeah.
We are
Also,
just
the
finding
taxation
gems
is higher,
outside.
right? The taxation is higher.
Yeah, we are finding gems outside where the gem is just beside us.
Okay.
Uh, Hmm.
Okay, but now my PF has gone beyond the ATC bracket. So
can't help it. Can't help it.
So should I break
I'm
the
feeling the same
ELSS?
pinch. I can't help it.
Should I break the ELSS and look at direct mutual funds?
But it's finished.
Direct SIPs?
If it's
Non-ELSS.
finished 3 years,
It has finished 3 years.
so and you don't need the money, then why you want to let the fund grow? Any which ways you'll redeem it and you'll put it
No, my
somewhere else.
ELSS is still going on.
Let it go. Let it go. Doesn't
So-
make any sense.
But if I go for a non-ELSS fund, that will yield me more returns, right?
Sometimes depends on the funds also. So that's where the advisor comes into play.
Okay, on
The whole basic process, what I understood is not insurance, not FD. Directly a mutual fund is the profitable. So which one I can apply for? Because my husband is having an artificial jewelry imitation business, but we are not able to save something for upcoming future.
So first you have to route down your expenses and then start saving ASAP. And obviously you have a business, so you don't have a regular monthly, fixed income. So whenever money that you are doing at the month end, start with as I told you, in the same scheme of a mutual fund, you can invest in that.
So which fund will be good to
Uh,
invest?
I can take it offline. That will be, a 15-20 minute conversation.
so
Okay, okay.
everyone is Hussein and Anupam. You can take their cards, you can take their numbers, you can go to them. I would suggest signing up with the bank so you have specific, because they are with Yes Bank. Those who don't want, in your own banks, there are wealth managers and investment people who will give you proper guidance. So you don't go to any call you get and someone is saying, no, I rather channel you through your own bank. Go to them and they're going to talk to you about it. Okay. So those calls where the people call you from your own bank, just say, yes, I'll show up on a Monday, and go and sit with them and they will talk to them. But are they too open as well? Of course, you can go and directly have a conversation with Anupam and Hussein. Okay. Let's take the sons online, the Zoom beloved across the world. Anna, Neha. Yes, Neha. You can unmute. Neha is from Chennai. Yeah.
So a mutual fund includes the dividends and everything. So 14% return includes your dividends and appreciation both. The 14% is annually. So dividends and everything is a part of it. So earlier dividends were tax free. Now they are added to your income. So you don't have an option in mutual funds. The fund manager takes that call and reinvest them. So you don't have you don't have to look after it. The fund manager takes that call.
So one of the things that I've told my investment manager to do is I invested in some mutual funds, some ULIPs, and I said, whatever the increase, I'm not going to give you anything. You're going to take the increase and put it back. So say I had a ULIP for say 5 years. So now the next year again I have to pay an amount, but I'm not paying it from anything I'm earning right now. I'm paying it from the increase that he got from the others, and he's multiplying it back. So, and then your money just keeps multiplying, and then I can give him fresh to do something else also. You're understanding, right? So for a couple of years, you're just letting that increase go and fill up all the other pots. Okay. Like you start with one pot and then you're filling up, the increase is filling up all the other 3, 4 pots. Okay. Who else had a question? Overseas people can invest in India, right? Mutual
Yes,
funds.
they are vehicles. They can get in touch with us and we can help them.
Okay. So say somebody living in Malaysia, and if they wanted to invest in mutual funds in India, they can do that.
Yeah.
Okay. So even overseas, if y'all are in the US or Malaysia and you want to invest in India, you can reach out to them and they will do it for you. Scandinavia, Sweden,
It's
all over the world.
all over the world. It's available.
So we will share Anupam and Hussein's number, and then you can get in touch with them directly. Jigar, anybody else? Christine, can you put her on Zoom? Christine is from. Christine, just introduce and where are you from? Samuel, you can go ahead. Yeah, Samuel, you can go ahead.
Yeah. So, so, you need to just contact your advisor and tell him that you have a goal, which is to be achieved for 15 years, and how you want to invest it. Is it one time or every month, or how you want to do it? Obviously, for a good retirement corpus, you need a mix of equity and debt, both, majorly equity, so that you can grow along with it. The companies and everything grow along with it. So it will be a mixture of equity and debt, both for you. Majorly equity, close to 80-85% equity, 20% debt, not more than that. So you can get in touch with the advisor or Anupam over here, get the details, and we can do that for you.
Quickly, yeah, let's take. What are, can you read it? Can Freddy just give the mic to Jigar?
Yeah.
How do I consolidate all my FDs? Where do I then invest?
So consolidated of FDs is, you have to figure it out in a single Excel or something. It's an exercise that you guys have to do it. And then where do I invest? It's the fund manager that you have to, or the advisor that you have to connect over there.
Please explain regular and direct plan and what is expense ratio in
Yeah.
mutual fund.
So, regular and direct plan is that you directly go to a mutual fund house and say that I invest in a fund. An advisor is a guy who will, uh, advise you which mutual funds to buy, which not to buy, uh, and as per your needs, risk, and everything. And the difference is basically the expense ratio, because a guy who is investing in your time and being with you, obviously the charges of the direct will be lesser, and the regular will be higher, but that's the fees that the guy gets from that. So the difference is basically the expense ratio. The difference between a direct and a regular is the expense ratio.
Okay, what is a close and an open mutual fund?
Yeah. So close-ended mutual funds, now there are not many close-ended mutual funds. They used to be earlier. But a close-ended mutual funds is where you cannot redeem money for that time till the time the fund is close-ended. Open-ended is where you invest today and you can redeem it anytime.
Yes, someone asked, can a lump sum amount be invested in a mutual fund just once? Yes, right?
Yeah, many
Yeah,
times.
you can.
Many times.
Someone has asked, does the average 11 to 14% return on mutual funds refer to only capital appreciation, or does this return
Yeah,
percent
we just
include
answered
dividends?
that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. RBI bonds as an option of investment.
Yeah, so that will come in the fixed deposits,
Yeah.
fixed income. Obviously, RBI bonds, which are called as government bonds. So government, whenever they want money, they issue bonds, and we get it.
Any disadvantages of mutual funds?
Obviously, the disadvantages is if I compare it with a direct stock equity. Your direct stocks equity is a higher, will give you higher returns, but it has very high risk as well. Because mutual fund, invest in 50, 60 companies, the returns are rationalized. That
So
is the
it's
only
like someone going to
Yeah.
the stock market.
directly
then-
stock market. So,
Huh.
like if a company which has just doubled up in 1 or 2 months, but a company can also go, negative in 1 or 2 months. But in a mutual fund, that will be rationalized because it has 50 to 60 stocks into it. So the
50 to
impact
60
will be
companies. Yeah. Okay. And it's more safer.
Yeah.
Because somebody else is managing it. If you're directly going equity and stock market, you'll have to studying it yourself. So that's the thing. If I don't have the time to be studying it 24/7, I hire somebody else to study it, but it's not directly there. They're doing it at in mutual funds, right? So it's safer. I know that there are people who do stock market also, and there's they can directly go, and then there are people.
Yeah,
who
they
manage.
can open your demat account and you can do it. But
Even
Believe me,
banks have it, right? Like
banks have it,
use-
everybody have it, but please, as an advice, as I told you earlier, don't stump directly to Z. Start with A, B, C, D. You know, stock single stocks are directly going to Z level. If you are not reading and just following somebody without and just advising, uh, sometimes it will work, sometimes it will not work. So it's your hard-earned money. Would advise you, if you don't have the time to read or research about that company, give the money to a fund manager. Let them do their work.
Yeah. Can we contact Anupam for advice on wealth investment as a senior citizen?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to put Anupam's number on the uh, on your Zoom. Okay. I'll share with them. They're also on LinkedIn. I can share your profiles on the group so they will get in touch. International audience also, you can get in touch with them. And I told you the advice for everybody is going to be different. So they might ask you for those things. They're also, please be considerate that they do work for Yes Bank. So if you're getting so much of investment and advice from them, then sign up with their bank. So at least that'll be useful. Otherwise, it's like I tell you, don't go to another church and then you eat food here and then you're going somewhere else. It's like that. Okay. So I'm just saying, come here and if you have to open up with them, do open up with them. Okay. Any other questions? Yasha, we'll take the last question. Then we're going to pray. We're going to pray for Hussein and Anupam again. Okay. And then we're going to close. Today is Diwali. So we are having lunch in the cafeteria. We have chicken biryani and veg biryani for you all and some sweets. Okay. So come and have fun. Huh? I think so. Get in touch with them. What is the question?
Digi Gold or buying a coin is safe.
Digi gold or
Yeah,
buying a coin?
it's a digital gold. Yeah. So, as I explained earlier, DigiGold is electronic form of gold which can be bought via mutual funds. It has its advantages because you don't have to store it in a locker, or you don't have to, when you buy a coin, there are charges like a minting cost and everything. So, that is not there. You don't have to store it in a locker. You don't have to go it to a jeweler. He will say, "Arey, this is a different hallmark. This is a different hallmark." So you don't have to worry about that. So buying a Digi Gold is basically, mostly people look at as an investment, and that is obviously preferred.
Okay, so it's not getting lost anywhere.
Yeah, you don't have
Yeah.
to worry about the
Yeah.
storage or any theft or anything.
Yeah. Okay, so you can buy gold also, everybody. Okay, so let's pray for Anupam. Last question, Yesha. Okay, let's take it.
What are the sort of questions one should ask advisor?
So first thing is, what you should ask is, you should tell that guy or her your horizon and your risk, and explain quarterly every why it is happening. I mean, if you're investing in a fund or a mutual fund, what is the returns it has given, not just in 1 year or 2 years, but a longer horizon, because that shows the consistency of the fund. So if the fund has given good returns in 1 or 2 years, that's fine. But has it given good returns in 10 years or 15 years? And is it aligned with your return expectation? That should be. You should not just look at one parameter, you should look at all the parameters. So somebody just asked about a direct and a regular or an expense ratio. You should ask that as well. So there are many parameters that you should be asking. And as I told you, no questions are silly. So it's there. I mean, which all funds, how often how your fund managers go and meet the companies, how are you evaluating? You can ask everything, and he should be having the answers.
I asked this particular question because I bought two policies once from different banks. It was the same thing, except the second time I bought it, it was disguised, in a different form. So it said half investment and half insurance, and the whole thing was an absolute scam
So
because the company, the bank, charged you money for looking after it, and I was paying a lot of money. So the investment, when I finally realized, got me nothing. So that is why
so you should not take the hasty decisions. Take your time, read it. It's not like the world is going to end tomorrow or something like that. Just take 1 or 2 days, read the proper things. And because of Google now, many information is available at your fingertips, which was not available earlier 5-10 years back. So you can easily Google it up. You can check if I am saying something, if we are suggesting a fund, it's the returns and everything is easily available over there. So take your time and do it. Take 1 or 2 days more time. That's okay. Don't just sign it over there.
Also, these days, just for to be cautious, a lot of people also call you on the phones and say they have a different funds. And for me, I would advise you, each one, whoever you're banking with, go through your bank channels. It's safer rather than just going with somebody who's calling you, showing up at your doorstep, and they may not even be with that particular fund or the bank. Okay. So I'm just saying, just to be wise and go through your own respective banks, but also you're most welcome to open with Yes Bank also. Okay. How many were blessed by today's workshop? It's an eye opener. Okay. Mummy ka zamana gaya. Abhi you can take some initiative, look at your own money, and still you can, I'm not saying do it on your own. Please get in touch with them. They'll guide you properly, or you go to your various banks if you already have and get in touch with the wealth and investment department. They have managers in every bank. Okay. And so you can talk to them. But you're also most welcome to go to Anupam and Hussain. I'll share their numbers and you can reach out to them. But again, I told you, if you're asking them any questions, then sign up with their bank also. So at least they have something in return. Okay. So come on, let's pray for them because they've blessed us so much. Let's raise our hands towards them. Father, we just thank you. Come on, come, some people. Hebron, come, Sapna, Sunil, Frenny. Let's lay hands on our brothers here. Father, I just thank you for Hussain. I thank you for Anupam. I thank you that they've given their time, that they came without a hitch, Father, and you just came to bless, beloved. And so I just speak an increase in their own personal lives, Father, that you will go and multiply all the life that they've given right now, that you're going to multiply it back to them in their lives. And I just speak health over them right now in the name of Jesus. If they have any sickness or loved ones that are sick, in the name of Jesus, I just command that sickness out of their lives, of their homes. Father, I speak your peace upon them. And Father, you love them. You know Anupam and you know Hussain by name. You know the desires of their hearts. You know what they pray for. And right now, I just ask you that you would answer their prayer in Jesus' name. Amen.